in a Liverpool shirt for Mo Salah.
A fond, emotional farewell to two players who have contributed massively to this club and will be missed by so many. During a shared 9-year spell with the club, Mo Salah and Andy Robertson have been leading figures, helping Liverpool to lift 2 Premier League titles, the Champions League, FIFA Club World Cup, FA Cup, UEFA Super Cup and 2 League Cups. And our first goodbye to a key player in Liverpool Football Club's modern success since joining from Hull City back in July of 2017. There he quickly established himself as one of the best left-backs in world football through his energy, consistency and attacking contribution. He was renowned for his relentless work rate, defensive reliability and pinpoint crossing. Through his leadership, consistency and role in a period of major success, Robbo has firmly established himself as one of Liverpool's greatest ever fullbacks. Anfield, your appreciation for Andy Robertson. And our second goodbye is to one of Liverpool's most influential players since arriving from AS Roma in June 2017. Running down the wing, Mo Salah has been central to Liverpool's attacking success with pace, finishing and creativity. In total, he scored an incredible 257 goals for Liverpool. Which, as you know, makes him our 3rd highest all-time goal scorer. Multiple golden boots, PFA Players Player of the Year awards, and so many club and league records along the way. Combining prolific goal scoring with longevity at the very top level, he cemented his status as a Liverpool legend and one of the Premier League's greatest ever. Your appreciation, everybody, for the one and only Mo Salah.
back, everybody. Nels, we've seen some absolutely incredibly emotional farewells. Jurgen, obviously, Mo Salah, Robbo, Bobby Firmino in the past, the legends, Millie. Unbelievable, that one. Wow.
Yeah, powerful. Really, really powerful. And that's what these two players have done, and others before. Given the fans so many great moments. There's a chance, a unique chance for the fans just to say thank you and sing the players' names. And even this now, it's, you don't forget this. It's powerful stuff out there. It's emotional stuff as well.
It's special times, isn't it? The players are now beginning to just do a little bit of a lap of honour, just to thank the fans, because this season has been very difficult. I thought the end of the game, when it went into the 8th minute of stoppage time with 2 left, the crowd, the cop, just went into the Jota song, and the whole of the crowd sung it. It felt really emotional, that, didn't it?
It's not the season we hoped for, we thought might be. Happens in football. We can still look forward to playing in the Champions League. It's not been the successful season we wanted, but the fans are still here, paying their respects to the players. They know it's been difficult. The impact of Jota on all those players and staff, incredible.
Huge.
Big personnel changes from last season.
That's not a bad sign. The doctor has allowed Ekatike to take his crutch off, and he's walking limping, but that's lovely to see him out there. He deserves some applause. He's been a great signing.
Top scorer this season.
Really bad, innocuous injury there.
Yeah, we wish him well with that recovery.
Absolutely. So the main thing we did today is we said farewell to 2 Anfield icons in Andy Robertson and Mohamed Salah. The big thing, get it over the line. We've qualified for the Champions League. That means the academy, the under-19s, are also qualified in the UEFA Youth League. The game finished today 1-1, but it's all about saying farewell to legends Mo Salah and Andy Robertson. Now we can go back down pitch side. Becky, take it away.
Thank you very much indeed to Steve Hunter and Neil Mellor. We are stood in front of a very vocal cop this afternoon, a very emotional Anfield, saying goodbye to 2 of their heroes as the curtain falls on the Liverpool careers of Andy Robertson and Mo Salah. Both, of course, have played their final game for the club. Mo getting 1 final assist today for Curtis Jones as the Reds drew 1-1 with Brentford this afternoon. Let's have a look at what it means for the top of the Premier League table, and this is as it stands, and this is how it will stay, the final Premier League table of this 2025-26 campaign. Arne Slot's men ending this season in 5th place, and of course that means they do qualify for the Champions League next season. Let's have a look at how it panned out in that relegation scrap right at the bottom between Tottenham and West Ham, and it was Spurs who stayed up after they beat Everton 1-0 in North London this afternoon. That means West Ham will join Burnley and Wolves in the Championship in August. Despite West Ham winning 3-0 against Leeds this afternoon. We are just embracing these scenes here in front of the Kop as Mo Salah and his family are making the most of every single second of their final time on the pitch here at Anfield. Phil Thompson and Jason McAteer are here, and you're watching it all, Tom. There's not a dry eye in the house. That includes us, I think.
It is. We do what we do best, and we come together, and I think that's quite evident. We can hear it now. You'll never walk alone going. But you see the love, the emotion, the passion coming from people who've done us all proud, and I think that is just Liverpool.
Yeah, we're just going to pause and take this in because it's a really special moment.
To the back of them.
incredibly emotional scenes here at Anfield. Andy Robertson and Mohamed Salah saying their final goodbyes to the fans in the Kop and all four corners of the stadium. I tell you what, I've gone a few times, Jason's definitely gone a few times, so that was incredibly emotional.
That was very emotional, it was. You'll never walk alone to go with it. It's, you know, it's wonderful. And as I said before, it's what we do best. And I was glad the game, we didn't win, but we behaved and we backed the team impeccably. And I think that was an important thing to show the world. It wasn't about our mistakes, it's about our football club. And we've done wonderfully today, how we've handled the whole situation. Because it wasn't great, it was very nervous. Brentford were fancying the chances, but we done it as we did, and we backed the team. I thought it was a very special, very emotional day, and it's just what we do.
It was very poignant, I think, for me, watching both of them stood in front of the Kop, Jason. You can't help but sort of flash back the best part of a decade in your mind, and you think of all the memories made on this pitch with them on it, and the journey that we've all been on together, and they've given us such special times and special moments, some of the best days of our lives.
You know, I seen an interview with Robbo in the week, and he said they come to Liverpool with no children, you know, with my wife, and they've created a family here, and you watch it with the kids and stuff. It's incredibly emotional because of what we see as footballers. We get the product on the pitch every Saturday. We don't see the sacrifice they are as human beings. It's yeah, it's incredibly emotional for the families as well. It's great to see the kids. Oh, it's amazing.
It is. It's very special. We're just here. Mo Salah is just coming to give a handshake to Tomo, to Jason. Hello. Good luck. All the best.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, my love. Enjoy it. Oh, very special times. Very special times. Hopefully we'll grab, fingers crossed, grab at least Mo or Robbo for a chat very shortly, but they just have to soak up every single moment of this, Jason, which I'm sure they are. But do you think it even feels real yet? Do you think it's sunk in, or will that be in the next few weeks?
I don't think it ever sinks in.
Yeah.
It's you know, seeing them leave, it's, you know, I feel it now as a player of Liverpool. When you lead the football club, it's really hard. This is more than a football club. You know, it's a family. I know it's a cliche, but it is. We're really close as ex-players. You know, the fans, you know, what they give you. The club is unique in lots of different ways, and what it demands from you, but what it gives you back. You know, it's you use this word culture. There's a culture when you play for this football club, and it's amazing. But when you leave, you know, it leaves a massive hole in your heart, and that never repairs itself. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. We do the next best thing, which is ambassadors for the club. We do the media, we do the TV. It's kind of holding on a little bit.
Yeah.
Holding on to what we've got. It's really, really precious. And, you know, I get emotional because I know the pain they're going to feel.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Such a unique football club, this.
It is, and it's, do you know, you come to the end of your career, and what I mean, end of your career, they might still play somewhere, but this is the end, because they will never feel the warmth. They will never, don't care where they go, of what you get at this football club. And it showed it today. And it's just there, and it is. You just feel so precious from what they've given to us, we've given back.
So important that we've been able to do this day for them, because as we said pre-match as players, you're not always aware that your final game for a football club actually is your final game for a football club. Things move so quickly in the modern game, and it's been a real privilege for everyone to be able to give them the goodbye that they deserve, Jason.
I'll tell you now, they don't want to go. You know, they'd stay forever. The problem about leaving this football club is, unless you're Robbie or Rushy, you don't come back. Well, Tomo as manager, but it's not quite the same.
No,
but it's you don't get to do it again. And it's, you know, we're so young when we finish. You know, you're 36, you're young men, you know, and the world of football, the game has moved on. It's a completely different place to when we played, you know, but it's still the same emotional attachment. It still means the same. It still is the same. You know, it's it can be really, really hard, as I said, leaving. But listen, I left without winning anything. They leave with a trophy cabinet the size of the stadium.
But there's many players in the Premier League, great players, international players, who leave football clubs with nothing. These two boys have just had the most wonderful journey. You know, to spend that time, such a long time at a football club, you do not want it to end. But it's there, Father Time catches up with you, and you just don't want it. And they'll be looking back and going, oh my goodness, because we do get older, we get older together, but they'll find these moments, what they've had here, are so precious in their life, and they should enjoy every minute of it. Now they've got great players, how many cameras following them around to create content for LFC TV, but for also for the family, and that is just going to be so special.
You know what I think as well? I think the 7 years we've had, 8 now with Arna's first year, the success, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, you know, the journey that I think we've been on as fans. I mean, we're privileged to be inside the ropes as well, so we get a little bit extra. But you know, someone said to me yesterday, like what is it? And it's like, I said to them, you know, when you take your kids to the game, the final, the FA Cup final, I've got my little boy and he's watching that. You know, they're not a given right that you're ever going to do that. That's an absolute privilege to be there. And it's these guys who do it. They make that happen. So them memories are created by these guys, and I get emotional because I've got that memory now. My little boy watching Liverpool win the FA Cup, and you know, I watched these lads, and I didn't get the honour to watch them in person, but my team was like 89, 88, 89, 90. You know, watching them going down to Wembley with my mates, watching them and, you know, winning the FA Cup. It's like they're the memories that last for a lifetime, don't they? You relive them all the time. The shirts, you know, you live the memories. My kid's going to do that with me. It's thanks to these lads that give me that memory, and that's why I get emotional.
It's a journey that neither of them, I suppose, when they arrived, would ever have envisaged. Andy Robertson, you look back at that tweet that has gone viral many times in 2012 when he spoke about not having too much money at the time and needing to get a job. He's ended up with probably what everyone would say is the best job in the world. I can't imagine 2012 Andy Robertson would ever imagine what he could have achieved.
I mean, he's done a job that probably a lot of people in the crowd are doing. You know, kids are aspiring to be footballers. It's so hard now. But they look at Andy Robertson, he's the fairy tale story. Like, I never won anything, but I was a fairy tale story.
He's so
relatable, it's relatable. And Robbo's the same.
You look at Robbo, and you're talking about a story there at 2012. Look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah came from Basel to Chelsea. Went from Chelsea to Fiorentina to Roma. You know, this was quite an exciting story, and you know, travelling around Europe. Andy was Hull City. You know, a Scots boy, Glaswegian, coming down, and it was quite special for him just to sort of make his way as a footballer. Mo Salah may have dreamed a little bit more than what Andy did, but Andy wanted it, and he's a credit to every young footballer who wants to go and have a look at what his journey was like. And now he doesn't need to search for another job, and he's done it. He can always have those medals. There's always maybe a good backing for him. He's also got good family around him, and I think that's helped him along that journey.
It says everything about him, Jason, that he's sitting here now taking all these selfies with the fans. I imagine, knowing Andy Robertson, he would stay here till 10 o'clock tonight to do as many selfies as he possibly can, because such is his connection with these supporters. And as we've just said, it kind of is so relatable, because he feels almost like one of us, even though he's a Glaswegian. The connections with Glasgow and this club are well known in the past.
Do you know what as well, Bex? I mean, it's not always been rosy. You know, there's been ups and downs. He's never shirked away from responsibility and accountability. He'll come on the telly and tell you it as it is. Listen, we weren't good enough today. Listen, it's this. But he's the one that goes on the telly and does it. There's a lot of people.
He always stands up.
There's a lot of people who will hide behind the dressing room walls, won't come out. You know, in other teams when things haven't gone well, he's always fronted up. And by the way, the good and the bad, you know, it's great to see him when he's smiling and we've won or we've won something, and he comes on. He's a funny guy. Like I said, you know, I just want to be mates with him. He's got that personality in it. If you want to go out with anyone, who is it? It's going to be Robbo.
See, all those photos are for him, as well as the fans. You know, I always say I've got a lot older now, 72 years of age. And I still love it when people want my picture. I hope Andy's the same when he gets a lot older, because there's nothing better in life than people still wanting a part of you, still wanting an autograph, still wanting a picture. It's just a wonderful part of your life. And Andy's sharing it now.
Yeah.
I just think it's just so nice.
The thing with you is, like, you're the relatable guy, aren't you? You're the scouser that was in the team. You're the lad who did really well. But also, in the same breath as what we said about this team, what they created, you did the same thing. You know, all these people, the older generation in the stands, you're relatable to them because you give them memories. So you're very much the same.
You still got to appreciate that.
Yeah,
and it's
Robbo will.
Well, exactly. He's in that category, and it's, you know, Mo will probably go back and live somewhere sort of back, and he'll probably go back to Glasgow.
Yeah.
And live back there, and that's the way he is. So we've got two wonderful personalities, maybe a little bit different in their outlook and what is ahead of them, but the two of them have gifted us a great part of their life, and it's been a special one.
It has been a privilege. I think it was natural that on his final day Mo Salah would break yet another record, Jason. He ends on 93 Premier League assists, which means he goes ahead of Steven Gerrard, who was on 92, and he is the outright most Premier League assists now. Departs with another record, of course he does. What else was he going to do?
Exactly, Tomo mentioned it, didn't he? I think that drives him as well. You know, there's some things that drive us as footballers. If he breaks a record, it's for the benefit of the team, isn't it? It's not just about him, the benefit of the team. If he's doing that, the team are going to benefit from it. But absolutely phenomenal. And listen, we talk about him leaving Liverpool. I mean, what a product for the Premier League he's been. I mean, they talk about being the best product in the world, the best league in the world. It's because of the likes of Mo Salah and what he saves up and what he does. You know, and the game's global now. He's a global superstar. So, yeah, the Premier League are going to miss him if he doesn't stay in England.
Yeah, we're seeing
This
Rio
young
Hector
boy,
Moa behind
the
us getting
young
some
boy's
attention
just gone
here.
up to him, give him the biggest hug, give Rio a big hug. And do you know what he said? I love you. You know, that's such...
Oh, lovely scenes from Rio. Oh, little one's
That's
just
such
taking
a
a tumble
nice
on his way
moment.
there. I think he's all right, but beautiful, beautiful scenes. Let's have a quick chat about Rio, Jason, because we're speaking about Mo departing, and as you said, pre-match on one side of the pitch, you've got Mo playing his last game. On the other, you've got Rio, who has such a bright future ahead of him.
A lot of potential. A lot of potential. There's a lot of things to work on. He's not the final product. He's very exciting. Like I said, he's got a lot of things to work on, which I'm sure is another conversation. But listen, he's started his Liverpool career. He's made his way up into the first team. It's been a difficult season all around, so he's had to come in difficult times. But he's got the potential to take the crown.
Yeah.
You know,
See, I think that's the big thing with Rio. It's nice, and you can slot in when the team is playing really well, and it's great because you feel more confident about doing things. He's a young boy, 17 years of age, and he'll learn, and this has been a difficult process, but for him to shine with a team that's struggled,
Yeah, very true, very true.
at times, I think he'll be better off for it. It'll make him more of a man. And they watch over videos, DVDs of your performance back, and he'll be able to pick holes in it, and that's what they'll do now.
It's so true, though, because it's not always... Everyone's been clamouring to see more of him this season, Jason, but it's not always easy for a head coach, to bring a young player in maybe difficult times, which we've seen this season.
Yeah, as a football, it's not all about, when you play on the wing, flicks and tricks and step overs and scoring goals and putting crosses in and getting to the byline and being exciting. Football's hard graft sometimes. You know, you've got to put the hard yards in, you've got to roll your sleeves up. You've got to be as fit as ever in this game now. You've got to get back, you've got to double up, you've got to go that way, you've got to press, do a lot of running off the ball, you've got to think, you've got to set traps. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. He's been exciting when he's come on, he's been great as an impact player. When he started, he's had that bright 20 minutes and he just fades into the game a little bit. But listen, he's 17. You know, he's learning all the time. He's at the best club in the world. He's got people like Alexander around him. He's got a great squad around him as well. I'm sure his family are really grounded. So he's in the right place, and you know that potential's there, them tools are there, that skill set's there. It's just managing them now. Listen, I've got no problem with Arne Slot not playing him. I think there's a trust element there. It wasn't the season to throw him in and say, right, go and do your thing. I need you to do this, that and the other. And sometimes he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he switched off, and the managers decided not to pick him when the crowd are crying out for him. That's the manager's prerogative, but there's things in training we don't see.
Of course.
See, but you look at Rio, and we will know as pros, he's not played enough football throughout the season, so he's got no stamina. So fans, at least today, they were understanding when he came off. I think they've started to realise is that, but the other games, it was why he's our back. No, he's not. There's a reason for him coming off, because he's not played enough football throughout the season. His stamina doesn't take it beyond an hour, but the boy's a talent, but he needs to listen. He needs to learn from his experienced players, because when you come in and it's the big time, you have to deliver all the time. And it's like the game against Man United, got done with the ball on the inside of him. And we could see what happened, but it's not for something then to pick up and hammer him with.
Of course.
It's experience.
Yeah, he's not 18 until August, Rio, so that's a huge factor.
And you could have, when playing the 18s, playing the 20s, 21s, 23s, whatever it may be, mistakes get made, sometimes you get away with it. Playing the Premier League, you're playing against arguably the best players in the world. They come here for a reason. It's best product, best league. They come here, they're men, they're fit, they're clever, they're wily, they've been around, they've experienced. You give something away, or like Tomo said, Man United, I'm looking at it thinking, no, bang, it's done. Split second. You don't have to switch off a split second, you get done. But that's a learning curve. That's all about looking, learning, listening, accepting when you're wrong, but don't let it happen again. You just got to learn by your mistakes. Like I said, he's at the best place.
Let's remind ourselves of the bigger picture, because with all the emotion in the last half an hour or so, it's easy to forget that there was a game of football here this afternoon, and it has finished 1-1, but that result, Tomo, does confirm Liverpool's place in the Champions League next season, which was the mission statement for today amidst all the other things that we've witnessed this afternoon. Yeah,
it was. I'd have liked to have finished fourth, but it was a football game which you felt we had in the palm of. We were so dominant in the first half, and we couldn't get it. We couldn't score. Mo's hit the post. Rio's kill one. You just thought it was destined for the top corner. We had chances galore, and then lo and behold, as happens with us, they get a great opportunity, probably the best opportunity of the game. But Ali makes that important
phenomenal save, wasn't it?
And lo and behold, the second half comes. We get our noses in front, if you pardon the pun. And you just think, this is it, let's push on, let's get the next one. And we can see what I think is a sloppy goal.
Yeah. Let's speak about the goal firstly. It's Curtis Jones who gets it. Obviously, we spoke about Mo's assist, but as Tomo says, there were a fair few opportunities, especially in that first half, for Liverpool to get themselves ahead.
There was, but the same problems that we've been witnessing most of the season were there again and apparent in today's performance. Like Thomas says, we scored a goal, we switch off, we concede a sloppy goal. They get themselves back in it, then they're on the ascendancy because they're looking for points to get European football, put a fight up, they create more chances with Cole and Ali again. Tomo, we were speaking to Tom off air, before, he's worth so much weight in goal because he's so many points to the season. He makes so many important saves that creates points for us, and again today, without his saves, we probably wouldn't come away with a point. So yeah, listen, I thought it was a nervy game. I thought it was an end of season, nervy game. I think with the boys leaving, it's a bit.
We'd had nearly 20 shots in the first half. It was incredible. 10 corners up, maybe more. That in itself, you look at it, and we do not. I think they've had 3 shots, 1 on target, obviously, which is Ali saving you. You think, wow, why aren't we capitalising more on these things? And it's just like modern.
Them stats that you're saying there, you could probably get 15 games this season
where
and put exactly the same stats down and say what games. They're just reading the same script. So you go back, you reflect, you look at why, you look at what can do better. Players in different positions. How can we change this? How can we do that? And you'd address the problems, and hopefully next season, instead of the 20 shots and 1 goal, with 20 shots and 4 or 5.
There was almost the perfect send-off for Mo as well. He gets his assist, but he almost got his goal in that first half with that free kick, Jace, which seems an awful long time ago now, but yeah, that was almost the perfect send-off.
A lovely strike, wasn't it? Yeah, and he was unfortunate. I think he was desperate to score one last time, wasn't he, and celebrate. Any road end, but yeah, it would have been nice.
You could see him jump, and like we're all waiting for Dom to strike it. And Mo stepped up. He must have seen, but because I was looking, I thought, is that wall too far over? Has he left it so that you can just get it round the wall? And he's put it in there, and he's probably thought, as soon as it left his foot, this is in. And Kavim's he's made the saves in the first half, 3 or 4 saves, and you're going, is it him come back to haunt us and sort of to take this from us? But it was that sort of moment. I think there was one just down here in front of the cop where he was wiggling, and he was like sort of 3 foot away from the post, and it was like stuck to his feet.
Like
and you just wanted him to get it right just for a toe poke, and it didn't happen. I think the cop was sucking it in.
Yeah. Brentford as well for their part. Let's not forget they had a lot on the line this afternoon and could have got into the Europa League or the Conference League depending on other results. Ouattara at the end heads it just doesn't quite get it on target, Jason. That was the moment, for them. They could have really spoiled the party with that.
I know, I was fearful when 10 minutes went up, and you just felt they were on the ascendancy. We kind of got a little bit deeper and deeper. Wasn't happening for us, and obviously they were pushing, and the cross comes in. I think it was the second or third cross of that play, wasn't it? And then it comes in, and to be honest, it was a really good opportunity. I mean, I don't want to be too critical, but he should have done better.
I was glad it was him and not Thiago.
Yeah.
I was glad it was him because he's a bit more lethal. He's got sort of too much on it. But they did. I think it was only until about the last 5 minutes, or 10 minutes of normal time, that they got the first long throw from the right-hand side. Yeah. And you've gone, wow, it's gone all this time and we haven't seen a long throw because they're so dangerous at the set piece. And we didn't even speak about it before the game. They've scored so many goals from set plays, particularly throw-ins, that at least from the throw-ins we defended it.
Let's speak about Brentford a little bit more in terms of their players, and Jordan Henderson, who was given a very, very warm and touching reception, an ovation from all 4 sides of Anfield.
You're going to set me off again. We were in the lounge, weren't we, to watch the game, and his dad came over.
Yes, he did.
And I've met his dad a couple of times, and obviously we all know the story of the dad, and it's so emotional, that story, and you know, it sends me back to when Jordan runs over to him and hugs him when he wasn't well, and it's like, and then I seen him and he looked great, and you know, he's so proud of Jordan. He's so proud of his achievements, and to be here again and watch him at Anfield must have made him so proud as a dad, mustn't it, just to watch him. But again, Jordan, I mean, I just love him to bits. I just think, you know, I went on record saying I don't think Liverpool would have won the title without Jordan Henderson. They spoke about Mo Salah. They spoke about how good he is. I think you need players like Jordan Henderson in a dressing room. And when it's not going well on the pitch, they're the players that get you over the line. They're the players who keep you going, keep you mental.
There was something happened in our goal mouth and the referee gave it our way. I don't know whether it was Canate getting a bang on the head. But they've done it and he's gone off. And they couldn't believe it that we got given the ball. And he's gone like that. I'm looking at Jordan on the touch. He's out of the box, Jordan. He's berating the 4th official. And he's screaming. I'm going, thinking, it's not a defining moment, but it showed his passion. Yeah. Even for Brentford, he wanted that result for Brentford. Although he's against Liverpool, his loyalty is with Brentford today. And that just shows the measure of the man. He didn't sort of light up the game by any means today, but his presence there for Brentford on the pitch throughout difficult times, particularly in that first half when we were very, very dominant, so crucial, taking stings out of the game.
Yeah, he will be, I think, quite emotional and pleased that he gets to have that moment, Jordan, because 492 games for Liverpool, Jason, 33 goals. He's the only Liverpool captain in history to lift 6 different trophies.
You know, it started off a difficult career, didn't it? I mean, Tomo touched on it before. How'd you step into Steven Gerrard's boots and captain this football club? It's like, task, and then, you know, the captains that have been to this football club are enormous stature, aren't they? And he's had to take up that mantle after Steven Gerrard, and you know, it was very difficult. He found it very difficult, I think, under Brendan. I think he was 5 minutes from being sold, wasn't he, or in a deal or somewhere. I think it was Clint Dempsey or something, wasn't it? And he decided to fight for his place, and then he came back bigger, stronger. And Jurgen came in, and you know, his leadership qualities came to the fore, and Jurgen just seen him as the ideal man to lead the team into what we did. And off the back of that, you know, everybody produces something, and you get the perfect storm, and you get that roll call that you've just rolled off their backs. And you know, I love Jordan Henderson. The reception he got here, I was nearly in tears.
Yeah,
It was lovely.
I think
It was
everyone
lovely.
felt the same.
And I don't know whether you remember going back, Sir Alex Ferguson saying Manchester United had an interest, but his gait.
He didn't run properly.
Yeah,
His gait,
I
he didn't
remember.
run
I
properly.
remember that.
And
Yeah.
you went, what? He's still playing.
He's still playing.
He's
yeah.
still playing.
With the same
And
gait.
running
Nothing wrong with his
around.
gait.
And all those
With the same legs.
No, but with all those trophies on his back as well.
Yeah.
So there's not much wrong with Jordan.
We cannot leave out Quevin Kelleher either, because he made a couple of great saves, one from Ryan Gravenberch
That's
in the
twins, I
first
believe.
half.
Congratulations,
yes,
Quevin.
Just recently, yeah, congratulations
Doesn't do anything
to
by
him.
halves, does he?
No, the cop was singing at one point Ireland's number one, which was a,
Oh, I
a
thought
nice
it was Ireland's number 4. I thought he was singing it to me.
Why
was
would
it?
you think
That's-
that? Yeah.
Yeah, Ireland's number 1. Listen, we spoke about the time, and obviously I'm gutted because I think he's a top keeper,
Yeah.
and I think he could easily slot in if Ali was to go. But Ali's still got life in the legs, hasn't he? And I looked at Quevin, and you know, I openly said at the time, I'd hate Quevin to stay and not have a career. And listen, the Ireland, the number 1 slot was up for grabs, and you know, I played for my country, for Ireland, for 12 years. It is an experience, and you shouldn't miss it if you get the opportunity. But you need to be playing. You know, there's other good goalkeepers out there who can represent Ireland, and Quevin needs to push by playing. And he decided to move away. I did feel for him signing for Thomas Frank, and then Thomas Frank leaving a week later.
Yeah.
I did feel for him, and I was surprised at Brentford. There's no disrespect for Brentford, but I thought he was going to go to Chelsea at one point. I thought
Yeah,
that was
it
the
was
move for
rumoured,
him.
wasn't
It
it?
was,
Yeah.
but he's gone to Brentford. Listen, he's a class act. He's a
Yeah.
class act.
Do you know what I love about him? And I loved it when he was here. He was so calm, so assured, and you need that as a goalkeeper. You need that as a centre-back. Playing in front of him, I hated anybody who was ranting and raving, and everybody, oh, look at the passion in them. No. Tells me that they're not focused.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just so angry. Don't let him shoot, don't let him. He was always nice and calm with the ball at his feet, because he was an outfield player. And we'll always remember his penalty. You know, how
course,
assured
yeah.
he was with that. But that's the sort of goalkeeper. But obviously he's there to make saves. And he's done that today. And that first half was passing by. And he'd made 3 or 4 saves. And I was thinking, it's not going to be his game, is it? As we've had a number of goalkeepers.
Oh, he's a very cool customer, Quevin Kelleher. Right, we are taking a little break here at Anfield. When we come back, fingers crossed, some reaction on the way from inside the dressing room. Back in a couple of minutes.
I will always love this club. I will always support it. My kids will always support it.
What comes to mind when I say Mo Salah?
Wow, como futbolista de Mo Salah.
Once in a lifetime player. He's just incredible.
There was never a day off. He was just constantly working to improve. You could go on about him for hours and hours, days and days. He's that good of a footballer.
I knew if we have a chance to win something, I have to really shine. I have to be the best version of myself.
Just everything that he did, you could tell was with intent.
Su mentalidad hace parte de decidir cada ocasión perfecto.
Mo Salah created numbers which will be unmatched in modern football.
It's always something, Grammy. I always want to achieve big things. I want to be remembered as one of the best players in this club.
It was amazing to see how the people got excited when he touched the ball near the box.
I suffered playing against him, but I have so much more benefits playing on his side.
So important for the football club of all those years, and a big part of the successes that we had.
Winning the Premier League in Anfield, celebrated with the fans, it's just incredible.
He's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
How humble he is, how respectful he is.
Uma pessoa sensacional, coração muito bom.
I'm super proud that I was part of it.
Lucky to play here for 9 years. You feel the love and you feel the support. It's incredible.
One of the best ever players in the Premier League, all football.
Players of that level, they don't come around very often.
We saw greatness, and that's what he is.
The king, and he really...
I feel they love me, that's for sure. But the connection is not about just goals, it's about what you give to the people, what you give to the city.
Mo Salah, I don't know the word.
It just goes so fast. You know, I feel as if it was just yesterday when I was getting the excitement of signing for this club. This like the emotional last walk. You gonna cry?
Are you going to clean up at my timekeeping?
No.
9 years at a club like Liverpool is not easy. The club means everything to me.
He is the perfect Liverpool player. He is.
He's my best partner in my career.
Yesterday you played very bad.
Every single game he's played for Liverpool. I don't think he's left anything out there.
One of the best left backs that Liverpool have ever had.
He's been part of the team that's won everything.
The best left back in Europe for a number of years.
I've got a white t-shirt. I thought Robbo always wears white t-shirts, so maybe this is a bad idea.
Goes well with skin, doesn't it?
Some trousers on it. Yeah.
Real legend. Incredibly inspiring. A good person, like down to his core.
Having him on my left-hand side, it was an amazing time.
Having this career, it's a dream.
It's been the happiest time of my life. It's been one incredible journey.
Welcome back to Anfield, where it finished 1-1 at Liverpool against Brentford. Champions League football for next season is secure, but really the big story of the afternoon has been the departures, the final games in Liverpool shirts for Andy Robertson and Mohamed Salah. Some extremely emotional scenes after the final whistle, as both were giving standing ovations by all four stands in the ground. Tomo, it was really a moment for the ages to savour this.
It was nice, wasn't it, Bobby Firmino, when he was going, the emotions, the tears, and it was for these two lads. They've spent the best part of their lives here at this football club, and the fans, as you can see, oh my goodness, that makes me feel emotional looking at them. And the last time I seen them cry was at the start of the season after Diogo Jota, and you see there the emotion, the sort of pride, the passion. They've given this football club the best time of their lives, and we have given them, that's the big thing, we have given them the platform to show what they can do. Mo Salah has become a world superstar. Robbo has become a superstar. And I think that is all for their application, what it is. And the both of them have been super fit guys, not sort of missing too many games.
I think it's almost, when players are here, you almost don't appreciate them as much as after they've gone, and you will look back, and for generations to come there will be families who tell their grandchildren about the times that they came to Anfield and they watched Mo Salah and they watched Andy Robertson, and it will be tales about these two players that will live for generations, Jason.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can be taken for granted, or situations can be, when you're doing so well, you're expected to win games, aren't you? And you know, certainly players like Robbo, and I said to you before, Bex, I think we only see the final product, which is the Saturday afternoon. Well, it's any time now, isn't it, a football match? But you know what I mean. Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock is where we see them. But the hard work and the effort that they put in, the sacrifices, you know, and again we relived his daughter's goal, didn't we? And it was the crowd.
I think me and you have just gone again slightly watching that.
You know, she went and put the ball in the net, didn't she?
Yeah.
And then she's gone and done it again this afternoon. And you know, like Tomo said, the crowd were really, really respectful, appreciative of everything the two lads have given them. And you know, we talk about their memories that they've made for us, and we've all got special memories over the last 8 years, and these two have been heavily involved in that. No matter what we talk about, these two were on the pitch and helped create them. So, you know, personal thank you from me. You know, my kids, you know, they get to see them play, they get to celebrate the achievements that they've brought us, and yeah, they're going to be a miss at this football club.
Huge miss. It has been a very special afternoon. While we have been watching those emotional scenes here at Anfield, there have been plenty of other Premier League games going on throughout the course of the afternoon as well. Let's just bring you up to date with how they all finished across the country. Manchester United signing off with a big win down on the south coast at the Amex. 3-0 that game finished. Burnley won, Wolves won, champions Arsenal also signing off with a victory 2-1 over Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. It was Fulham 2, Newcastle 0. We know what happened here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Brentford 1. Manchester City beaten in Pep Guardiola's farewell at the Etihad, going down 2-1 to Aston Villa. It was Forest 1, Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 2, Chelsea 1. Spurs beating Everton. That, of course, a huge impact on the relegation fight down at the bottom because Spurs stay up. West Ham, despite their best efforts, beating Leeds 3-0. They will play Championship football next season. So what do those results mean for the final standings of the 2025-26 Premier League season? Well, Arsenal, as we knew, were already champions, but they finish on 85 points thanks to that win over Crystal Palace. Manchester City second on 78. Liverpool finished fifth on 60, but Champions League qualification is secure for the Reds for next season. Bournemouth and Sunderland will play Europa League football next season, whilst Brighton, despite that heavy defeat at home to Manchester United, take the final European spots in the Conference League. Onto the bottom half of the Premier League table, and the big story is at the bottom. Spurs do stay up after their victory over Everton. West Ham will join Burnley and Wolves in the Championship next season, despite that win over Leeds. We've spoken extensively about our games. Let's just speak about the other teams that have had big results today, Tomo, because we said there Sunderland and Bournemouth get spots in the Europa League. It's Brighton in the Conference League too.
Incredible story.
Huge, isn't it?
You know, I think they were on, and if to be honest, I thought that they would go down, but they've showed great application. They've been fighters. They've given up so much possession in games, but they hang in there. They sneak games. I think they've been an unbelievable story. That's what the Premier League is all about. Is these teams that we've seen in these last few years, your Brentfords, your Brightons and all, they're making big claims in the Premier League. That is a sensational story. Besides the Spurs one staying up, which that was most predictions, Sunderland, Europa League is just incredible.
Calculated gamble by Sunderland sporting director Regis Labrise. It's paid off. You know, he brought physicality, pace, endurance into his team. Let a lot of the players go. That brought them up, and it was calculated, but it's paid off. Listen, they hung on in times towards the end of the season, and they've kind of jumped over the line just a little bit, but they've got European football in the first season up. That is massive success.
Huge.
You know, the fan base up there, it's brilliant. You know, I've captained the club.
Of course, yeah.
It will be amazing, the European nights there. It will be great. More work for me, probably, Tom. I'll have to go all the way back up to Sunderland.
Imagine the Mackens.
Oh, they'll be partying tonight.
Wow.
They'll be partying tonight.
And what is also an incredible story is that European football will be played at the Vitality next season, Tomo. Just over 11,000 of them watching that. Yeah, that is Bournemouth in Europe.
They weren't playing Champions League because they could have slipped in there if we'd have finished above Aston Villa. That was an incredible result.
Yeah.
After they've been partying since they were winning the Europa League in midweek, and they've gone and beaten Manchester. Imagine if they'd have been sober.
Tomo, you've done that every week. Got results every week like that.
Oh, dear me.
True.
Imagine Real Madrid being at the Vitality.
They love it.
They love it. Obviously, they didn't get Champions League, but
Valverde, they'd like the Tchouameni. All played in front of 12,000, brilliant.
What about the bottom as well? Because it was Spurs in the end who just stay up by the skin of their teeth, Tomo. West Ham, despite their best efforts, going down.
It's a warning to a lot of the big clubs. That's what I'm saying about the Premier League with your Brightons, Brentfords, Bournemouths, how well they've done, Sunderland. And you've got Spurs and West Ham, big London clubs, sort of down there vying who could go down. So it's a warning to everyone. It's a warning to Spurs not to let this happen. They need, and that's why it's a warning to a lot of football clubs, and maybe like ourselves, is that you get on that spiral of changing managers, changing players, changing staff, and then you can't get out of that. And it's like that Manchester United. Let's hope they've not played as many games. Let's hope they're not on a resurgence. But you get the likes of Chelsea and Spurs who become basket cases, and you see what can happen to them.
Yeah, it is a warning, but then they finished 17th last season as well, Jason. So it's kind of a warning that they didn't heed from last campaign either.
Mismanaged from different areas of the football club. Tom was right, it can quickly erode confidence. Decision making can all of a sudden, be all over the place, out of sync. These clubs like Tomo mentioned before, the Brentfords, the Brightons, they're meticulous with their preparation, not just on the pitch and the game playing, but off the pitch, the business model that they've got. They don't do it every season by luck. It's calculated. It's some way it's a calculated gamble, but they take it. They never over-expend. The expenditure's always kept within the limits of the club, with their expectations, the fan base's expectations. What you said there about Bournemouth is a phenomenal story, but their expectations have rose a little bit now. So it depends on what their fans want, what they want to get. Tottenham, I think they've got a good manager though.
You mean the fan?
The fan, yeah.
Sorry.
His expectations, her expectations. Well, I think with Tottenham, I think they've got a good manager. They've got a really, really good manager. As long as they can manage him in the right way, I think.
We shall see.
Yeah, I think he'll move them up the table.
It feels healthy for the Premier League, Tomo, at least this season, that we spoke about Sunderland and what a success story it's been, because you look at the last two campaigns where the three that came up went straight back down, and it's nice that a team has kind of booked that trend and managed to make a success. And
you always have one of them, don't you? Come along, if you remember a few years ago when you had Stoke sort of booking the trend, because they were in and they got on that spiral and they find it hard to get out. Yeah. And you think the Spurs that have dropped into the Championship, you got Lincoln going to, the Tottenham Stadium. That'd be just incredible. But the same thing's going to happen to West Ham. And as we've seen West Ham over the years, have not found it easy to get back out of there. Teams will be going there to that big stadium, the London Stadium, and thinking, we fancy this today. And if they're not at it, I think Nuno's done very well, and he's a good manager. Hopefully they don't change that. Seems at least there was a bit of connection. He gave them a bit of hope. So let's hope they do keep Nuno in there.
I mean, you talked about before about like expectation in the Premier League and how quickly, and a wake-up call, and how quickly you could fall off your perch and then be on the brink of relegation, as West Ham have gone down, but Tottenham were. You look at the likes of where Leicester are. I mean, you go through the leagues now, the Championship, League One, even League Two. There's some Premier League teams that you just go, wow, how have they ended up in this situation? They were in the Premier League 5 seasons ago, 4 seasons ago. Leicester have gone to League One, haven't they? It's like crazy. Yeah. It can quickly happen though if you mismanage the football club, the finances. There's been an exodus now at West Ham. Players will want to go. The manager, is he equipped for this division? It's a style of football as well. You've got to play to get out the Championship. Premier League teams are not always adapt to that, are they? Exactly. The games come thick and fast. There's more games to play. The demands are much more. And relegation is a terrible thing at a football club. People lose their jobs. Yep. Not just the football players who leave. People are losing their jobs behind the scenes. Yeah. It's a terrible, terrible thing, relegation. And I'm sorry for West Ham. I'm happy Tottenham stayed up, but that's the price you pay. Yeah, commiserations to West Ham fans this afternoon. Right, we've got some reaction from inside the Liverpool dressing room. Curtis Jones is speaking with Peter McDowell.
Well, it's all the Joneses on the interview here. First of all, Curtis, your feelings at the end of this long season? It's been tough at times and it's been testing, but how would you sum it all up?
It's been up and down, of course it has. Won important games. We've obviously lost games as well, but the important thing now is that we're in the Champions League, so that's the important thing.
How do you feel as well as a player, man and boy, that's come through and seeing those departures at the end there? They bring back so many great memories for us fans, but it must be even more diluted as a player.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The pair of them are unbelievable lads. They've won everything at the club. They've helped me from a kid. They've helped the whole of the team. So seeing them go, it's obviously sad, but I'm happy that it was done. Of course, it was only with a draw, but we qualified as well. So it was an emotional day, but at the same time, it was important for us, the club, and the fans as well.
You've stood here loads of times talking about the help that various players have given you. Are they right at the top, the two that leave today, in terms of the assistance and help and advice?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I think. I think Mo was obviously in a different way. His was always, you know, he would always lead and be a professional. He was always the first in the gym. He was always the last out. There was obviously a time when I was struggling with injuries and stuff, and Mo let me use his personal physio and stuff on the outside. So yeah, you know, I respect him even more for that as well. And then Robbo, on the flip side, he obviously was one of the ones who, when I came around the team from a kid, you know, he was always there. He always helped me. He always said that and the talent was there and the ability was there, but you know, I just had to work harder. And you know, he was hard on me. You know, these obviously times when I thought it was a little bit personal, but the older I got, the more mature and wise that I got, you know, I knew it was always with love and that he wanted to see me do well. So the two of them have been a huge help in many ways.
And you've done this before when previous leaders have left, that there's that natural stepping up, isn't there? That, you know, they've set really high standards now, and everybody else has to take the lead.
Absolutely, yeah. From when I came in, the standards were obviously, you know, they were already set, and you had to obey by the rules. You had to buy into what the lads stood by, you know, and that was working hard every single day. You stick as one. And you see it more as like a family thing, and that's a big thing that, you know, that I've always said about this club. And you know, it started with the likes of them lads now that are going to leave. It's not just a football team, it's more like a family. You know, you obviously go through your ups and your downs, and when you look left and right, it's always them boys around. So in the hardest times, the lads are always there, and in the good times they're there as well. So it's important that we carry it on now.
Just one final one for you, Kurt, as well. I mean, the fans were singing at the end, you know, that everything will be all right in the end. You've put up with everything that could have gone wrong for the team this year, and there's been tragedy in there as well. It's been the toughest season in all of your lives, but there's optimism that next season will be better.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is what this team is all about. You know, I've said it already, that even when times are hard, that we look around and we see each other in there, and it's a family. And you should never ever quit. And as you just said there, you know, it's been the hardest time. You know, we lost one of our brothers, a big part of us. He was a huge help every single day. He was unbelievable as a human being, was unbelievable as a player. He was a huge help, and in games like that, you know, he was always a lad that I thought if I give him the ball, he's going to go and score here, and he'll bail us out when we're in a little bit of trouble and stuff. And to lose him, you know, I'm standing here now, I can feel it in me, you know, I feel emotional when I speak about it and stuff. But yeah, you know, just as he was around the place, he was a huge, huge help. And then to see him go like that, and then we lose him, and things like that, you know, it was obviously hard. And then we come in and then we start well, and then we go on a bad run, and then we come back and then it's a bad run again. You know, it was up and down for the whole of the year. But the important thing, yeah, as I've said, you know, that this club is huge by sticking as one, and our family and the fans are always there. And as I've said, you know, it's important that we got in the Champions League. So next year, you know, be exciting again. The lads that we've obviously bought have now played enough games that they feel that they're a part of this as well. So yeah, we'll see the best of them as well. So yeah, I'm excited, and next season, you know, it should be great. You know, we can put everything behind us, and just go and enjoy it, and just go and play free.
Well, listen, the most important job of all is being a dad, isn't it? So go and look after the family, mate. It's been great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Curtis Jones with his little one Gigi there, making an appearance on LFC TV. But he always speaks very well and at length, Tomo. And once again, there he always speaks with refreshing honesty, Curtis.
It's the thing which you'd always like to hear, and it's a difficult one, talking about Diogo and what an impact it's had on people. And you can feel his emotion of what he could do. And one of them was him as a person, but one of them is you knew he'd come up with a bit of magic. He'd bobble one in off somebody's shins in the box and put it in. He was always cool and calculated in his finishing. And you feel that emotion of Diogo as a man, but how much he preached him as a player and as a mate and a brother, as he said. And that people shouldn't underestimate what has happened the whole of the season for these lads to bear that grief with losing such a mate.
Yeah, I can only emphasise what Tomo said. You know, we got together just after, and you know, we go out for a meal and, you know, make sure we're all right. And there was about 10 or 12 of us, wasn't it? And I think the question posed was, has anyone been through this?
Yeah.
And not one of us.
Unprecedented.
You know,
circumstances.
this club's at Hillsborough, it's at Heysel. You know, we've had some terrible things, and we've come through it together as a football club and each other. You know, the lads, what they've been through and stuff. But no one has ever lost a teammate as close as that. You know, and it's funny because, yeah, so tragically, in the manner in which they did. You know, it was instant, wasn't it? And you know, I remember getting the phone call, shocked. You know, and I'm nowhere near the dressing room, and you know, and the thing is, we can't imagine because we haven't done it. You know, you don't know what the impact is. You don't know what it causes. You don't know what it does to individuals, never mind a collective. And they're still reminded of it. You know, by the 20 minutes, everyone stands up and, you know, everyone celebrates Diogo's life. But it's a constant reminder to them. And, you know, when you're on the pitch, things do filter onto the pitch. You do feel the energy. You do feel negativity. You do feel this. You do feel that. They'll know they're clapping. They'll hear the clapping. They know what it's for. And they've got to get over that mental barrier again. And it's such a desperate situation. And I really, really feel for them. And, you know, it'll take a long time for a lot of them to get over it.
It's a very good point, that, because everyone remembers, Tomo, where they were when they got the news that day. And I've worked in news for over 20 years. There's very few things that have really taken my breath away like that did and shocked me. And yet we are, as Jason said, so far away from the dressing room. And to be in there, it's unfathomable what they would have felt.
To lose somebody, and we've all at different times of our lives, your mums, your dads, you know, grandparents, things like that, some younger people, but for it to lose somebody, and these young men in the dressing room at 20-somethings or early 30s, how you deal with that, it must be, and because, as I say, he wasn't just died, he may have been ill for, this happened, boom, his life's been taken, him and his brother. How you sort of plan to go back to work and to do things. There's a reminder every day, his car park place, his place in the locker room.
Yeah.
So it's awful, but we need, and we have to sort of galvanise, we need to go on. And the season's not been good in what we've witnessed, and that has to be better no matter what. The football club goes on, and we have to make sure, if it's in Diogo's memory, we have to be better, and we have to search for more consistency, which we haven't had this year, and we've got to be honest about it.
Very poignant words, thank you to you both. The final word for today goes to the boss. Here is Arnold.
Well, boss, before we look at the season, how would you sum up the game? How was your feelings post-match after?
As the season, the better team. I think by far the better team. Much more chances than the other team. But in the end, we could have even lost it, which has happened also so many times this season, when we are not able to score the second goal, or when we were 1-0 up, not score the second goal when it's 1-1. And then in the end, at the 100th minute, they were also almost close to scoring the 2-1, which would totally not have been what we deserved. But yeah, that would not have been the first time this season, and that would have happened.
And feelings in the round, is it the same, that, you know, these have been good and bad times this year, but today maybe sums up a lot of the frustration?
Yeah. Although I saw also a lot of good things, which always go unnoticed if the result is as it is. So the amount of times our attacking players were in great positions, were able to create, were able to do something. That was again much more than the other team's attackers could do, were in positions. But yeah, great assist by Mo, but a fullback who scored. And this is what we have to improve. We've been so many times the better team on the pitch, and so many times we've struggled then to score a goal or to create chances. And today it was more scoring that goal. And unfortunately, again, we conceded also today. So yeah, those are two obvious things we need to improve.
And two emotional farewells as well. We've seen the ground at its very best, haven't we, over the last couple of years with trophy parades and everything else. But the other end of that scale is sometimes you have to say goodbye to players too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the fans did this as we expected of them in the best possible way they could do that. So already before the game, during the game, after the game, everybody was still there. After what has been a difficult season, but the fans understood that it wasn't only about the season, it was about showing the respect for what they did in 9 years, the amount of trophies they won, the special memories these two players have created for this club. And as a result of that, for these fans, they all understood that they had to stay on their seat and stay there to give them the farewell they absolutely deserved. These players have been unbelievable for this club, and that's why they got the farewell they deserved.
Champions League secured and a time to regroup now. Does the rest and that attempt almost to put things right that were wrong come at a good time for you now?
Yeah, of course, when the season started, we all expected us to qualify for Champions League, and I think throughout the whole season we've been almost constantly in the mix of doing that. But it wasn't our main aim. We wanted to win something. We wanted to actually win the Premier League again, try to win the Champions League. We were far off of winning the Premier League. We lost in the FA Cup against the winners. We've lost in the Champions League against the team that in the last 2 seasons no one were able to beat over 2 games, over a 1 game. Chelsea did it last season in the Club World Cup, and maybe Arsenal will do it now in the final. But of course we're not happy with our league form throughout the whole season. But if you take everything into account, we can also not take it for granted, because big teams, even this season again, did not qualify for Champions League. And in the last few years, big clubs that have spent also a lot of money were not able to qualify for Champions League every single season. So if this is our lowest base, we're not happy, but it is a base to build off and to do better next season.
Thank you, boss. Appreciate it. Have a good summer.
Yeah, big summer lies ahead for Arne Slot. He will take a few weeks, Tomo, to rest and recharge, but then there is work to be done. What changes would you like to see when we come back for pre-season?
It's very seldom you have a rest and you eat. I would like to think it'll be on the phone talking to Richard Hughes and others about going forward. What do we need? To me, we need a bit of physicality. We need, as well as talent, we need physicality. We need different characters, better characters in there to drive the club forward.
Okay. Jace, quickly, your
thoughts?
Yeah,
Tom's right, there'll be constant dialogue. Listen, they don't make it up as they go along. Listen, the plan, is they'll stick to the plan. Be interesting to see who comes in, who leaves. Listen, it's not just the players, Mo Salah and Andy Robertson who have left. There'll be other players leaving as well, so we need to celebrate them. But yeah, looking forward to the summer. Big World Cup coming up, and then it all starts again in August.
Thank you very much. It does indeed. That is it from us for today and for the season here on Matchday Live. Before we leave you, just a reminder about those 2 brand new must-see LFC Originals films. Salah, Farewell to the King is now showing on LFC TV. Do check your listings for the timings. And Robbo, My Liverpool, premieres this Thursday night at 7. Do try and catch both of those documentaries. They are very, very special indeed. For now, though, it's been an absolute pleasure to be alongside Phil Thompson and Jason McAteer throughout this campaign here at Anfield. Maybe it's not been quite what we would have hoped for on the pitch, but we do hope you have enjoyed our coverage. Nonetheless, we, of course, will be back in July for pre-season. Until then, take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you very, very soon. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.